going to call to order tonight's Board of Directors meeting for Montessori Peaks Academy at 6:31 p.m. on Tuesday, March 26th. And then I'm just going to let you go ahead with roll call, Ted.
Got it, thanks. I followed the list here. So Adam.
Here.
Mercedes.
She was here. It looks like she just dropped off.
Okay. I'll go down the column then for a chance. Elizabeth.
Here.
Emily.
Here.
Yarit.
Here.
Justin.
I am here.
All right. Rebecca is not here, right? I am here. Terry.
Here.
All right. And then Robin and Jen, correct? Excellent.
Mercedes is back.
Perfect. Got it.
Okay. Thank you. Give us a quorum. So I'd like to go over the mission statement. It is the mission of Montessori Peaks Academy to achieve high standards of individual excellence by guiding the whole student through an exceptional learning experience based on the educational philosophy of Maria Montessori. Any community comments that anybody received? Nope. Okay, I have not received anything either. So with that, I'm just going to pass it on to you, Robin, for principal report.
Good evening, everyone. Starting with staff updates. So we have basically 2 upper L lead teachers. We have signed contracts, and we've really only been talking about one because we know Mr. Todd's retiring. The reality is we have enough middle school enrollment to justify 2 teachers and also to make that program successful. That's what we want to do. And so as she was originally hired for, Miss Robin will be moving up there. And so we actually already have the replacements for both classrooms, which we're pretty excited about. The reason we haven't been overly ambitious about advertising Robin's position, that was per her request. She really wanted to try to get through April. And when people ask her, she's been very honest about her plans, but we're just we don't want to throw the kids off too much. And she thinks they all know, but anyway, that's why that hasn't been completely advertised in all the newsletters. But we were really worried about this because upper L positions are a little harder to fill. And these are candidates coming in from out of state, and they have Montessori training already, and they both have experience. So we're pretty excited that we have this. Hopefully they can find a house they can afford, because that's what they keep asking us about. All right.
Community realtor if they need one.
Do you really? Okay. You know, it's funny. One of them is coming from Saipan, and she said she asked the realtor we had given her, is there, what are the safe neighborhoods to live in? I think her daughter's going to go to Lakewood High School. And the realtor told her it's unethical for me to say. So, which is weird to me. Like, I'm like, I don't know. So anyway, we're going to try to help them out.
I've heard that too, that realtors are not allowed to say that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
no, it is.
Huh.
It is a requirement. They can't do that. They can't talk about criminal activity or direct them from neighborhoods that might have high crime rates, that kind of thing. It's right. My mom's a realtor, so I just know her wink.
Yeah.
When I'm asking.
Yeah, see that? Yeah, and I get it. I mean, they want to diversify neighborhoods. I know, but it's hard when you're moving from Saipan and you're trying to find some. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, it's a real thing. Community. I mean, you're well aware we have the 413 silent auction coming up in the north, and it'll be the North Open House as well. And they have the food trucks, babysitting, building tour, and socializing. And yes, our plan is to have that building ready by then. Surveys. The family survey's been out since March 1st. That the accountability committee worked on. We have 35 responses so far. Adam graciously created Adam, he created the stickers with the QR code. So on Friday, we'll have the kids coming home with those on them. And so hopefully that'll help. 35 is, it's double what it was last time we met, but it's still not a great number. So hopefully we can get more.
Hey, Robin, I was wondering if there was any plan to put that out as a separate email. I know it's always a careful balance between like sending people too many emails, but I wonder if it got buried in the newsletter and so people didn't see it. So I'm wondering if it's worth sending out its own email about that.
You can definitely do that. I think I'll wait maybe till I'm going to send an email home. I guess, yeah, maybe I'll send a separate email at the end of this week about the stickers, and then I'll put the link in there again. I feel like I've sent a couple this week because of the funeral and everything else, but it happens. It's life, right?
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like there are a few things that warrant like a separate email, and this might be one of them just because that data is so relevant and important to us.
Okay. Yep. Nope. And I also want to give them a heads up about the sticker anyway. So thank you, Adam, for creating those. I have no idea how to create those. So, but they look great, and Casey's sorting them for me right now. The 2nd through 5th grade surveys, the roundtable, we talked about it. We talked about them and finalized the questions, and Veronica and I are pulling it in together to a form, like a hard copy and digital for the teachers to use. And they'll kind of have a month to complete that. And then we'll be really synthesizing the information, because they're doing that, especially for the lower grades, in a different way where it's more discussion. So we're going to have to do some discussion and synthesizing what the ideas were and the trends. And then you already know the 6th and 7th grade students created the panorama survey, which I don't have anything back on that yet. Justin probably knows more about this next section than I do, but well, no, I followed the kids going to the trip. So I don't know if any of you know, it was a lot of work for the kids and the adults preparing for the Model UN trip to New York City. Would you agree, Justin? A lot of work for the kids too.
I think the chaperones should be given cash. I bowed out on that, but we ended up turning it into a family visit and a bit of our spring break. And we kind of it actually worked out because I think Emily was going to be in a bit of a crowded room, so she stayed with us, and we just kind of hand delivered her, which is, it's always great to take a vacation where you're keeping conference hours and joining the team at 6 a.m. every morning for breakfast. But no, the chaperones and the photos from the group and just the stories from ECAT and Amber and Tammy, I think it was, and I know Tyler was there, and I forget the gentleman with the extremely long beard. So anyway, so yeah, no, I think they had a fantastic time. We got nothing but kudos from Emily about what a great time she had, and I was extremely jealous that they got to go and sit on the floor of the UN in the actual, the giant room where all the countries and the nations, I should say, sit and address the leaders. So she got to sit in those chairs, and there was a neat moment when we were watching some movie on Netflix, and in that movie they go to the UN, and she sat back and went, that the main character is sitting 2 seats from where I just sat at the UN 2 days ago. So it brought that connection of how important that building is home to her. So, but they saw the Statue of Liberty. I haven't even done that in my lifetime. So it was a great event, I think.
That's amazing. And they really did. They had to do a lot of preparation. The students had to do projects and different research about this. The great thing is, Miss ECAT was the head on this, and it was a lot of work for a classroom teacher. It really was too. And that was the first time we were doing it. And so even before the trip, she was saying, I don't know about next year. I don't know if a teacher should run this. So we weren't sure how that was going to play out. We've got 2 parents we think that are going to take the lead on that and maybe plan the trip for next year. With staff would be involved, but I think we've got a head person because it is kind of hard for a classroom teacher. I'm going to try, I think I can do this. I did this in the money memo. I have pictures that were posted they were using I don't remember what it was, Justin, but the common space where they were posting pictures. And I think there's some of them that put in a parent
cluster.
Yeah, the cluster, just so people can see, what some of it looked like. The kids just looked like they were having a ball. Capital investment funds from Great Works Montessori. Jen and I were pretty excited because, well, not because Great Works closed, but if you read the attached memo from Brenna Copeland, the Chief Financial Officer, they talked about the money they were giving to each of the charter schools due to the closure of Great Works. And so we're getting an allocation of $267,458. And right now we're having Nick get estimates on, it has to be, on the building and things like that. And so we've got
capital construction money.
Yes. And so we're looking at, we were looking at 3 things. We're not going to be able to afford all 3, but lights, we know we have to replace all the lights in the main building. That's going to be a big expense. A water heater, we know we're in need of a new one. And then actually we want to, even with or without this money, start talking about that new carpet for the main building. So that's kind of what we're going to wait for the quotes to come in and then see how much, what we can pay for and what we need to defer to our own budget. So anyway, that's pretty exciting. So that memo is attached. Reed sent that out. So if you haven't seen that, that gives more information. Middle school update, they're planning their end of the year trip right now, and they've got a fundraiser like they've won this week at Smash Burger. So if you want some burgers on the 28th, you can help them out. Still have 27 enrolled for the school year. And then again, Miss Robin and Mr. Rhett will be the lead teachers there. And I am still going to be careful with how to communicate. I want to honor what Robin wants. Like I said, when parents ask her and with her class, she's been honest, but I'm not totally just putting it out there to everybody yet with regards to that. We just want to hopefully keep April stable year for all the kids and then start talking about it more. North building move. We've got most of the unwanted furniture cleared out. We've got a plan for this week to do the final touches. We still have some cleanup to do to get ready for that April 13th. And so we've got some gentlemen hired to help Nick move the final things out or move them around. So we clean up that auditorium area. There's, it's a big area and there's still a lot of little things that need to happen. So we thought if we hired in 2 people to help Nick, we could get that done quickly and help PTA get better prepared for the silent auction, which is a big deal. Let's see, Nick's fixed all the lights. I know if you haven't, most of you probably haven't been in the auditorium, but half of them weren't working. They're really high ceiling and it was pretty dim in there, pretty depressing. And he's got them all fixed and it looks a lot better.
And
so,
Terry helped him out. So I want to thank
yes.
Terry a lot.
Terry, sorry, I forgot.
We appreciate it, Terry. You do so much.
Yeah. And I heard all the work with the lift was a lot of fun, right, Terry? Yeah.
Getting in the building was a trick, yes.
Yeah, but it happened and there you have it. Now we've got it. But yeah, thank you, Terry. Thanks, Jen, for reminding me of that because it really does look so much better. Of course, now it shines a light on all the little things that we have to get done this week. So I don't know, maybe the dim light was better. I don't know. The crosswalk was completed at the last couple of days of spring break, and they were out there today inspecting. I think Arid will give us an update on that, so I won't go into that. Roundtable, we're discussing 24, 25 class list procedures. We are gonna kind of go back to a way that MPA used to do it, and that's the way I've always done it too, where the levels are going to be the main driver of determining the moves up to the next level and where the kids are going to be placed, and taking an input from our different teams like SPED and specials and the office team and any unique circumstances we know about. And we also, we touched base on student survey questions. We finalized our playground committee, our first meeting. There's a lot of meetings this week. The first meeting is this Friday. And we've got the vendors coming in for the playground committee, and we're going to be talking about, next steps. And then future topics, teachers want to talk about the student tardy situation, which is why we're trying chimes. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're trying them. We're going to bring up the board of directors staff representative job description. Elizabeth has put it out, and we put it out for staff if anybody else is interested in that. Elizabeth's only done it 1 year. I think she's done an amazing job. So thank you, Elizabeth. I think she's very good at being objective and keeping her boundaries. And yeah, I think you've done an amazing job, Elizabeth. But we want to define the role of staff so they understand the role as well, so that they also know what they shouldn't come to her with, or right, Elizabeth? That's kind of our goal. Student behavior, it's actually, the kids are doing really well right now. We keep having a common theme come up, which is when we're struggling with kids, Compass has a main area that they're able to have kids go work in, but it's supervised, and we keep trying to brainstorm ways within that building we can create an area like that. So that's going to be a continued topic for conversation. Enrollment update. So our 1-day count is right now for next year is 417. So that's taking into account homeschool and only giving half credit for each homeschool student. So it's right where we want it to be. And then we've got the important dates listed. So any questions? I mean, you can see the enrollment figures. We definitely have a wait list. There will continue to be some movement. There always is some. And actually, we're probably at 416 because we had a brand new 6th grader that had enrolled. I'm not sure when. We didn't know anything about this family, but they just are going to a DPS school now. So there'll be some transition over the next couple of months, but hopefully we'll stick right around that 417. Go ahead. Yeah. Okay. Any questions on anything I've talked about or anything I haven't talked about that you'd like to know about?
I just want to say that 417 does not include our primary enrollment.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is
and you can FD and HD? See the numbers on there for the primary, but it's not included because we don't get the funding for that.
What is FD and HD?
full day, half day.
Oh, I see.
Mhm.
For the kindergarten
Yes.
or
Or preschool.
preschool.
So we'll get money for preschool for enrollment for those kids per the tuition and the UPK, but they don't count towards the 1-day count for the PPR numbers. And that's why those aren't included for the 1-day count.
I
And so the
see.
417 is kindergarten through 8th grade. And then preschool is counted separately because that money comes from a different pot. It's not the regular like PPR number that you get, whatever that amount is, 10,000 something or 11,000 something from the state per student.
Mhm.
Does that make sense, guys? Why it's separated?
Anything else? Okay.
Okay.
Oh, and
So-
CMAS testing is coming. CMAS is a big deal.
You said CMAS testing?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
coming.
it's around the corner.
Yeah, and really Miss Aaron's doing, it's a role I've done before, and it's a big role. She's, I'm the head test assessment coordinator, but she's actually doing all the organizing for me, and she's doing an amazing job, and it's, a huge help. So I just kudos to her. She pretty much has to sit in her office, and it takes a lot of prep work, actually. People don't realize that. So anyway, there you have it. It's coming, and we can't stop it.
Okay, so next thing is North Building update. So the people on our construction team went out there today. They know that there were some issues with snow and whatnot. They wanted to come and take a look at it before the official inspection, which as of this morning, they said it was either tomorrow or Thursday. And they're trying to get that done. And then they have to fill out an as-built form on what was poured, placed, and present that to Jeffco. The timing of how that all lines up with when we officially get the certificate of occupancy, I don't know if it's going to be a week, if it's going to be 3 days, or if it's going to be a month. I don't have control over Jeffco, and they are trying to get it for us as soon as possible. So when we have it, there'll be a big announcement that it's there and the kids will move over. There's stuff in the classrooms. They're ready to move. So that's what I've got on that.
We still use the building for the auction.
Yes, because we
Okay.
are allowed to use the building as long as we don't have students in there for classes, for meetings, for counseling, for tutoring, whatever it happens to be. The adults can use it, but we cannot use it for students at this time. It's just weird to me how that all works. Sorry, I don't have the agenda in front of me all of a sudden because I pulled up my email. What's the
North
next
Building
thing on the
update,
agenda?
and then next up is executive session.
Okay. So Adam, I'm gonna let you work your magic
Yeah.
and do what you need to do technology wise. But before we can go in, we have to do a motion vote.
I make a motion that we enter executive session to discuss CRS 24-6-402 personnel matters as described.
I'll
Oh.
second.
Terry gets the nod. Okay, we'll vote. Adam,
Yes.
Elizabeth,
I'll abstain.
Cameron,
Who did you say? I didn't hear that.
sorry,
Again, I something.
Emily.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Got
Yes.
it, sorry.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Erie,
Yes.
Justin,
Yes.
Mercedes,
Yes.
I'm a yes, and Terry.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed.
It didn't take too long.
It's pretty straightforward.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
By the way, I had a parent that just showed up at the school so I sent them the link, Adam. So I don't know if they're going to show up on your.
Oh, to Zoom?
Yeah, they came to the school. There's a teacher still there, and they texted me and said a parent was waiting for the board meeting. So I sent them the link, just so you know.
They should probably watch the live stream, unless, is there a reason they need to participate in the meeting?
I have no idea. Like, I don't think she was talking to them anymore. She just gave me their email, and I think they left. So
Okay.
I hope that was okay. I actually wasn't sure.
That's fine. They'll be in the waiting room. I'll just send them a message saying, please participate in the live stream.
Okay.
It was posted in a way that it said held virtually. And that's what it says online on the website and on the one that I posted in the school and on the agenda Heather put up. So
Great.
I feel bad, but it's what it is.
Justin, you were going to.
I thought the chairwoman would call for the motion. So we want to start
You
it.
can just do it. Go for it.
All right, I'm going to just spontaneously motion to approve the evaluation and contract as discussed in session.
A second.
You're muted, Ted.
All right, we'll vote. So Adam,
Yes.
Emily. Sorry, Emily.
Yes. Yes.
Got it. Irit,
Yes.
Justin,
Yes.
Mercedes.
Yes.
I'm a yes. And Terry.
A spontaneous yes.
And for Miss Elizabeth, can you just put abstain?
Yep. got
Sorry,
it.
I sort of said it for you, but she wasn't in there anyway.
Nope, I got it. Yep.
All right, so with that, let's move on to item 7 on the agenda, board elections. So Emily, I'm going to let you take over.
Yes, so the application period closed on Friday for applications for the Board of Directors elections coming up in April. And I wanted to throw out, there are 2 complete applications and 1 incomplete application as of today. I wanted to see, because the application period closed on a Friday during spring break. I wondered if the board wanted to give any direction or had any thoughts on extending that by a few days, maybe until the end of this week, to get more applicants. I have reached out to the person whose application is currently incomplete to request, they did not submit a letter of intent, to see if they plan on submitting that. But anyway, any thoughts on that anyone wants to share?
I'm open to keeping it open longer.
I feel like we did a pretty good job of getting the word out. So I don't want to annoy people with like more communications about this. I feel like, there's always that sort of give and take there. But if we do end up with only 2 candidates, we are filling 2 spots. So there's that.
If we only have 2 candidates, does the school still need to vote and get a minimum number of votes?
Very good question. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you have to vote in the normal cycle, and then you can appoint, in between cycles.
Yeah, we could appoint someone in between, but yeah, I think we have to have at least 33% of the community voting.
Okay. So if we only end up with 2, we need to make that the most important piece of the announcement about voting.
Yes.
And let people
Please
know.
vote, even though, yeah.
They don't, we will do it again. We don't have a choice.
Mhm.
I'm fine with leaving it open some more days or closing it either way.
Okay. We have time built into the schedule if we want to extend it. And then the election would start on April 10th. I've targeted April 9th as a preliminary date for the Meet the Candidates meeting. That is not an actual board meeting, although I think we typically host it. but it's basically an opportunity for the community to meet the candidates and ask any questions. I think as board members, we could throw a couple questions in. I guess if there's only 2 candidates, we should probably still just go ahead and do that, and have the candidates do that. So
The way
I
that
have,
we did it last
Yeah.
year, just so you know, is that we had it just on our normal Zoom link. And then we asked the community to type things into the live stream chat. And
Mhm.
one of us board members read the questions to the candidates.
That's a great idea. And then voting would go until April 26th. Justin has been very kind in showing me how to use all the voting software and get that all set up. Veronica gave me the voting list today. So I think we are pretty good to go on all of that. So we're pretty good. And then the new members would join at I guess we would, do they have to do a swearing in or something now?
Yeah, they get to do that form. But
Yay.
since we already are sworn in, we
Yeah,
can do it
we can
with
do that
them
for them.
at that meeting.
Yeah,
We have to
so we
have the
would do that
paperwork with us.
after the May board meeting. Yep.
Yes. So just for your own calendar records, the May board meeting is in person. Make sure you write that down. It kind of changes the evening at home, I know, but the May board meeting is in person. I think it works better with the changeover to the new board, and making sure any paperwork that needs to be filled out or signed by everybody gets done. So I'm going to keep that one in person. April will be virtual.
That's all I have on the elections.
So
And I'm sorry,
thank
just
you,
real
Emily.
quick.
I know it's a lot of work.
Sorry,
Emily,
what, Adam?
If they want to join the board, what do they have to do?
They have to submit a resume and a letter of intent or letter of interest to Veronica.
Okay.
Email is fine. And the letter should just explain their interest in the board and the skills that they bring to the table. It doesn't need to be super long or involved, but yeah, just an idea. Just gives the community an idea of why they're applying and what they are bringing.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Emily. I know it's a lot, and it's kind of a process that takes a while. So moving on to staff survey. So I know the survey I sent out said students at the top, ignore that top line. All the rest of the questions are staff survey questions. Does anybody have any feedback about the questions that are in there? What's on there? Robin has the master copy. She changed the top heading this morning. But changes can be made to that, or it can be left as is and sent out when we get there at the end of the year. And we needed to put that before the board.
I think it looks good.
I mean, I like that it has the scale, and then there is room on the form for an open-ended question at the end, as far as I understand. You don't see that there. That was where we got a lot of feedback over the last couple of years. But with the scaled stuff, we can compare it to years past. And I know that when we got the info back over the past couple of years, the board has gone through that. The open-ended questions, obviously there were no names attached, but it was good information that we got when people took the time to fill things in. Are people okay with it the way that it is? We don't have to vote. I just wanted to give it a chance for Robin to have feedback.
And Nareed, we're sure we have these open-ended questions on here, right?
I don't see it on here, but they should be when you run the form, or as if you're filling it out, there should be a spot for an open-ended comments from staff back to the board. There has been over the past couple of years. I don't see how it would be different if it's the same form.
Okay.
And
Jen,
that's something we
Jen
can.
Webb,
think
I'm going to
about.
send it to you. Check it out. Jen's still on, right? Okay. All right.
Yep, I'm
You can just do a test run of it. But strongly agree for everything. And then you can clear the data and start over if it works.
I think we've brought this up in the past, but it's important not to change this too aggressively because we need the year over year
Comparison.
Yep.
Mhm.
to be able to study results.
So people don't have any feedback in terms of specific questions. I think we're just going to leave it as is. If something comes up regarding it, let us know. Are people okay with me moving on? Okay. So with
Yeah.
that, let's go to committee reports. So I'm going to turn it over to Justin and Jen for finance.
Jen, do you want to take it away? We kind of are ahead of the meeting here with the finance committee to get all things approved.
Well, when I talked to Jen last, the budget for next year we'll talk about in April. So we should do the budget versus actuals that I sent out for the packet.
Okay. Somebody wake Jen.
Might be looking at my survey or our survey. Sorry.
no, I'm having a whole conversation on mute.
Oh, okay.
Just that. Adam, can you please pull up the financial budget versus actuals?
Absolutely, I can.
Thank you. I'm like, why isn't Adam responding?
Oh, you're on mute. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see. So first, let's see if I can do this on both ends. I'm doing this. It's on YouTube now.
Okay.
And then I have to share my screen here. Let's do this. There we go.
Did anybody get a chance to look over this? Do they have any questions?
PPR funding, revised versus actuals, like you only recognize it as it occurs, right? Is that
Recognize it. I plug in what the district tells me is in that account. So they usually make about 8 payments.
I see. So they made 7 so far, probably.
Okay. So go back up to the top, or actually you don't need to. I have it right here. We're 67% through the budget. And so that's my goal. To keep everything there. Obviously, if my revenue is higher than 67%, I don't mind. Elizabeth asked me earlier today about the state revenue. It's been really weird this year because it's the first time for UPK, and the free and reduced lunch reimbursement at 100%. So it's just taking the state forever to get that funding in. I told her that I think I'm up to January. I deposited November and December's payment. So I'm only a quarter behind, but it's coming.
They're good for it.
Everything else I'm okay with. Payroll's looking sweet, and that's my biggest expense. So I like that number to really be in line with where we are in the budget. We're at 63. Everything else is just kind of toting along, looking good. We're going to end the year, hopefully, with some revenue, putting it back into the reserve since we borrowed. Still maintaining our ratio. Everything's looking good on my end. Does anybody have any questions? Again, like this one that says 74%, those are a lot of front loaded expenses. So like my risk management, my work comp insurance, I pay quarterly. The building rental, we're going to be done with that. We returned all the connexes and there's no more payments on the temp.
Is there, for the temp building, is there a one-time payment for removal? And does that go on next year's budget then? Or is that included in this year's rental?
So I called, I don't know, about 2 years ago when we were going to have it removed. And I know that there'll be a fee from like the electric company and that, and if we have to like repair our fence, but I don't think that there was going to be a fee for them actually coming out and picking it up. I mean, it's theirs. They're coming and getting their stuff.
Okay.
Because we've had repairs done to it, like that someone was wrong with the door and the guy came right out and fixed it, no charge. So I'll make a note to confirm that or find the guy's email.
Okay. And then we just need room in next year's budget for when it gets removed for the fixing of fence and electrical and stuff.
Yeah. Any questions, concerns?
What exactly does coverage ratio mean?
So that is what the bank uses as our kind of how we're doing on our credit. Like it's almost like money in the bank. How many days of money in the bank do you have? And it's just this equation of your net revenue minus your base rents and debt service. And it comes up with this percentage. And our goal is to be greater than 1.2. And like during COVID, and when we still have, after we purchased the building, but before we were doing anything on it, it was really bad. Like, I think I saw like a 0.27. We had no students, we had no funding. So it's really come back up.
It is, so 3.88. That's where we are today. Is that?
But that's because we haven't spent all of our budget. Yeah.
Right.
But our goal is to be at 130. And it might even be a little bit higher, because I'll still make at least one more adjustment to the budget before our fiscal year ends.
Great. Good here.
All right, that's all I have. Like Justin said, we are working on next year's budget, have a finance committee meeting tomorrow to review with them, so then we can present a recommendation to the board in April.
And in April, we will need to vote.
Yes, you will need to vote.
For next year's budget that we approve.
So I'll get after the finance committee meeting, I'll get that information out to you, Reed, and you can send it out to the board members early and try and look it over prior to the meeting. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's move on to marketing.
I don't have an update for the group. We still have not gathered. This is kind of our quiet time until we get back around to maybe some spring, summer planning. That was lightly attempted last year with PTA, and I think Adam and I might have miscommunicated on that one and sent PTA to sit alone at a bar, what we thought was going to be a gathering. So I think we're still apologizing to Amanda on that one, but that might be ideal. As a matter of fact, I was just communicating here with the PTA to make sure they got a donation that I had submitted. So let me see if they do have any plans for the summer, and maybe it's something we can team up with, or we don't. I don't know if we have a ton of budget left, Jen. We used a pretty good chunk of it on the direct mailers. So aside from looking for maybe a small sponsor opportunity like we had with the in the park, but I don't know that we ever walked away from that feeling like it was the best investment of funds. So the committee probably needs to come back together and just decide if we want to do something going into the spring or late summer or some kind of gathering, and at the same time, maybe balance it with something PTA is already doing.
Just, can I say something?
Yes.
No.
First of all, Justin, you reminded me, I still haven't received an invoice for what you did with that printer, I think. The printer shop guy.
Printers, yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm still waiting for invoices
Okay,
for the work I
so I
do
just
with him.
wanna let
He's
you
the
know.
greatest guy in the world.
So
Until you get
as
the
of right
invoice.
now, there is budget because I haven't paid for anything. Second thing is keep in mind, and when you feel like that thing at the park wasn't a good deal or these mailers aren't a good, one student, the PPR for one student is over $11,000 probably next year. So one
Oh, I
student
agree.
has a sibling, it's a family, neighbors come, so all you need is one.
And we're on a big wait list.
Right. I would
Mhm.
say from experience, because I worked that booth with Becky and
Mhm.
Amanda, that there was much more return on investment from the direct mailers. The net was cast wider.
Mhm.
The interest in our booth, we were so far back from the performance, and they came by to see what you had. Matter of fact, there was a hospital nearby that had just a table full of promotional products, and I mean they would just get cleaned off. And
Well, they
we were
didn't have
handing out
chameleon color pages.
That's right.
that's true, which we couldn't give away unless we folded them into paper airplanes and floated them out over the audience. But no, I mean, there is that kind of mentality when you're kind of on a display booth, is like, what do you have for me? And we didn't get a lot of interaction with it necessarily. And I remember a couple nights we even just walked into the crowd and started handing out the ice pops or whatever they were. So, I mean, look, you try some things and see what works. You try other things, and if they don't work, you move on and try something else. I think for the most part, the direct mail has been a pretty resounding success. Events like in the park, it's kind of hard to get people focused on what you're all about. It's hard to make a pitch about a school, as somebody's just kind of trailing by in flip-flops and shorts on a summer day. So, but there might be other opportunities, and maybe some placed signage, maybe more sponsorship opportunities to just get our brand and name out there. I'd like to see us doing some stuff with digital too.
We already talked about the car wash guy.
Car wash guy.
The floaty arm guy.
Oh, I thought Jen had somebody in mind washing cars all summer, which I'm not volunteering for.
In a bikini, Justin.
Yeah, there's an image no one needs. Flapping inflatable wacky wavy arms guy. So I think that was his name. I mean,
Robin
could price
came up with a great
out.
idea. If we had a mural on the new building, we have that huge wall.
Yeah.
If we had like a compelling, good-looking Montessori type mural on that wall, I think it would serve us very well. I've heard sort of secondhand, really, several people mention that, with that billboard out there, that we have the signage, the digital signage, people didn't know we were even there. That's where Montessori Peaks is. And I'll tell people, oh, our kids go to Montessori Peaks, and they always say, like, where is that? And you tell them and they say, oh, I didn't know it was there. And like, I just feel like, marketing, the easy thing to cross off the list is like, just people know you're there. So I would love to explore some sort of alternative routes towards
Let's give
that.
the sixth graders some cans of spray paint. Let them
There
go
you
to town.
Yeah.
Tag it with an MPA theme. No, it's a great idea. It's a giant canvas.
If you had a mural fling or something we could come up with that was catchy, and then once we get that new playground that they're looking at, it's pretty impressive what they're looking at. We'll see, and people then drove in just to see it. I think it'd be a big draw right there.
Yeah. And then if we wanted to talk about a budget for next year, I still feel like somewhere in there we need a better digital signage solution. The one that's there, anytime the power goes out, it resets the clock in there, and then it's Happy New Year's again. And then I have to go back to change that, I have to go into Veronica's office. I have to pull the computer out, plug it in to the machine. I've got it and then to update it, it takes at least 20 minutes because you have to use this crazy software. And I just feel like everybody else is beating us on this. Something that is designed for parents to get the information on what's happening, for community members to be able to see what's happening. I think that would really serve us well in the future. And I would still love to figure out how to hire at least part-time a marketing and communications person at the school who connects the community in a way that that works for everybody.
Yeah, so we've got some long distance goals. There just hasn't been anything too immediate, and I apologize. I've been pretty distracted in just calling a meeting together. And I think I apologize to Miss Heather in Carline every morning. So
I made a sticker
for that. See,
it's about as exciting as it gets.
Producing stuff. So with that, I think that's the marketing committee update.
Okay. Thank you guys. Emily, we'll move on to SAC.
SAC did not meet this month. The next meeting is April 1st. We will review data at that meeting. I don't know that we won't have the survey results at that point yet. The biggest thing right now is getting that survey advertised and getting people to take it. That will definitely close by May 1st. The other thing that we'll need to decide at the next meeting is the SAC chair for next year. Beth McDonald has served as the chair for the past couple of years. So I don't know if she'll want to stay on or not, but we will need a new chair probably. So that's what's been happening on SAC. I did want to ask too, this occurred to me as I was looking at the elections stuff on the ballots. There's a question about whether or not parents are interested in serving on SAC. I wondered if we still wanted to ask that question in the elections. I don't know if I don't know how we're getting those responses, and if anyone's reaching out to people who are saying yes on those responses, or if that has happened in past years.
I don't know what happened to it last year. I can tell you that the year that I joined SAC, it was before I joined the board. It was because I filled that out and Brian got back to me.
Oh, okay.
So, I think it's worth leaving.
And then I think the other question that raised was, do we want to ask about any interest in serving on other committees besides SAC? I guess that runs the risk of getting the elections, but they're the ballot sort of getting long. But if anyone has thoughts on that. I don't know why we identified SAC as the only one that we're targeting with that.
I don't know why, but you could leave it as SAC or other committees and leave a line for people to just fill in their information.
Okay.
Anything that did get answered in there, we just have to make sure they get a response.
I'll play around with the ballot questions and see if I can find a way to work that in. It might be useful, yeah, to get other people, maybe someone who wants to join the finance committee or other things like that. Okay, thanks.
Any updates from the grievance committee, Ted or Adam?
None.
Nothing.
Okay, awesome. Just a reminder, in June, that committee rolls again. So one person comes off and a new person comes on. So Adam, you'll come off and Ted will stay on, and then somebody new will join Ted. So there's always 2 board members on that, on a rolling kind of way that we do that. Monthly meetings, Ted for PTA, and I know it's very busy for them right now.
Yeah, a lot going on there. So at the next meeting in April, the PTA officer elections will take place. Vice president and treasurer are up for vote on this cycle. It's 2-year cycles. Also, obviously, the spring auction fundraiser is coming up to be held at the middle school on April 13th. PTA is providing food and beverages, and I believe there's childcare as well, not at the school. I think it's back across the street on a sign-up basis. I believe there's also limited capacity on that. The finance committee is looking for volunteers. They need a group to get together and meet by the end of April to approve next year's budget for the PTA. And then, as Robin mentioned earlier, the playground committee is meeting and requesting bids from 3 different parties. They've measured the space and will have hopefully a competitive bid set to review. And then last, they've got end of year social planning started. Sounds like, I'm gonna get the details right, but it sounds like Miss Heather's band is confirmed they'll play at the social again. Food trucks have confirmed attendance, and we're waiting to find out if Clement Park will allow us to use the amphitheater again this year. So that's what I got.
Only busy.
Yes.
JCSC, I talked about it last time. There's kind of a lot of discussion going on with JCSC. Their next meeting is April 17th at 5:30, I think. I don't remember where. I had that at some point, but I will send out another update if anybody would like to join me. I'm assuming, Robin, that you'll be there. I'm planning to go at this point. I think it's something really important that MPA needs to continue to attend. So I don't know if there's going to be another meeting in May or if that's going to be it for the school year. It may just depend on how the meeting goes and what's discussed. But with everything going on with Jeffco, I highly recommend that it's something that's continued. And if somebody, like I said, wants to come with me, that'd be great. So with that, since we haven't met since January, I don't have anything else. Board calendar. So the first thing that I had listed there, just confirming tomorrow night, 5 to 8. It said North Building. I think we're going to end up in a classroom instead. So maybe we'll just meet in the kind of atrium area in the South Building. I think that would be best, and then figure out where we're going to go. It depends on after school activities and things. So we'll just pick an empty space.
I'll the place for us by then.
So atrium, 5 o'clock. If you like your dinner order a part of it, please take care of that through Adam's link that he sent out. There's a deadline on that, so make sure you get it done.
And actually, if we get it done a little bit earlier, that'd be great. I can just drop it off when I pick up the kids. I'll send it to the people I haven't heard from in the chat.
2:30? Fair?
That'd be great. Yep.
Okay. So if you want dinner ordered from the place that we selected by 2:30, make sure Adam has that information. The other piece with the strategic planning is Robin worked really hard to get sort of a draft form for us, to give us some structure for the night. We are going to have that there for everybody to look over the first part of the meeting. If you want it sent to you ahead of time, if you're more of a process person, let me know. I can email it to you. Otherwise, I'll have copies when we get there tomorrow afternoon. Any questions about tomorrow? Nope. Okay. And with that, I'm going to let Emily kind of take over and see if there's anything I forgot.
No, staff survey is listed in March. We have reviewed that. So I will mark that done. Okay, update board orientation handbooks is listed as a task for March. That I think is supposed to be the secretary who looks at that. So I will follow up with Rebecca about that.
I don't ever remember having one.
Okay.
So it's more a matter of, we could take the things we did last summer that I put together. We could take the training thing that Gary did, that binder, and kind of put it together. We to kind of decide if we really want that, how we want it to look. I was never handed any kind of orientation manual.
I don't think I was either.
Jen's got her hand raised.
I was raising it for after this.
Oh, okay.
Not regarding this, but just before we end.
Okay. Okay. So maybe let's flag that for further discussion and review. I think does anyone
thoughts about it? Can you send me an email or things you really think would be helpful to include? Then I can kind of compile a little list or links or something. All the legal training modules are already in the board docs for people to be able to look over.
I think all of that is really helpful. Just knowing and understanding we are subject to the open meetings law and Cora and, you know, all of those legal obligations that we are subject to and requirements that we're subject to. I think that's a really good reminder for new board members. Yeah, I don't know, maybe some of the background materials like, I don't know, the handbook, things like that would be useful to just have board members review, or like guidance and policies that we have in place. But I don't want to like scare people away with a bunch of reading on their first, their first meeting. So maybe I'll just make a note that
Talk about it one more time.
we'll talk about it one more time, and maybe just compile a folder that will have helpful materials. Okay. I think this task is actually an April task based on previous discussion about the budget. Review, approve, and submit the budget for next year. That's an April
So
thing.
it's definitely April this year. It really depends on how the meetings fall with spring break and if the finance committee's ready for the March meeting or not. And so
Okay.
It can be in April, it can be in March, just depends.
We'll move that to April. Strategic plan progress. We are meeting tomorrow to do that. And then the last one is submit proposed bylaw policy and procedure changes. Is anyone aware of any bylaws, policies, or procedure changes that need to happen? I do know that I think the grievance policy for staff needs to be updated. I think we updated the community grievance policy, but not the staff one. So I think that's one we should have on the list. Is anyone else aware of anything that needs to be updated? Okay, if you think of any, just reach out. That's sort of an ongoing thing as needed. So no real timeline on that, but I think it's just an opportunity to speak up if you're aware of anything. And that is it for the board calendar.
Okay. Wow, it's not even 8 o'clock. Thank you everybody for staying on task. We got through a lot. So we're back from spring break. I don't know how many weeks we have left of school, but summer is upon us, it feels like already. So thank you to all the teachers. I hope you got a break that was relaxing. I hope parents survived the week with their kids in tow. And one more push to get through the school year and 2 more months on the board for me. So thank you everybody for all your hard work. Everybody's pulling their weight in different committees, so I appreciate it. And have a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
My question?
Yes,
Oh, sorry.
Jen had her hand.
Go ahead.
Approved minutes.
So Robin sent
Rod,
me,
I didn't put that on there. Oh, I did. I skipped it.
Okay.
Never mind.
We're not
Can we
done
go
yet.
backwards, Jen?
sure.
We got to approve the agenda from last time so I can get it signed and get it to you.
Thank you.
We need a motion.
I'll move to approve the minutes from the, was it February 20th meeting?
I second.
Okay, Adam,
Yes.
Elizabeth,
Yes.
Emily,
Yes.
Yuri,
Yes.
Justin,
Yes.
Mercedes,
Yes.
I'm a yes, and Terry.
Yes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you. Jen, you're up.
I forgot my question.
You've got to be kidding.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, so earlier we were talking about the staff survey. Robin shot it over to me. What am I supposed to do? if I take it, it won't be anonymous.
Okay, never mind, Jen. I previewed it. I don't know why I just didn't do it in the first place. I was going to email Arit this. So Arit, that's what was shared with me, and I can't remember if Aaron shared it with me or who did. I don't know who would have had that originally. Those were the only questions. So the parent survey has open-ended questions, but this staff survey, that's it. Just not.
We're getting open-ended survey answers the last 2 years, so something's missing on there.
So do you know, who would have had access to the original one? Because I'm looking through my Google Drive at anything that was shared, and all I can find is parent surveys.
Let me see what I can find, because Brian and Amy had shared a bunch of stuff with me.
But theirs would have been old. Like, it would have been the one from last year that maybe Gary used, right? Like,
so how did it get sent out last year?
Like, who sent it?
Probably Veronica.
Okay, let me just do some digging.
I just guessed. I don't know.
Was shared with me by someone, and I can't remember. It was probably the beginning of the year. I can't remember anymore, but it was someone, and it was somebody. And then I just renamed it. That's what I did, because I wouldn't have edited anything.
Check and see if Veronica has it.
Okay.
If not, check and see if Gary remembers, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, yeah, and I'm sure somebody. Maybe,
I have a 2020 staff survey and a 2019.
See, and that won't be consistent, because we need to know what was sent last year if we're trying to compare data.
And I have 21, 22. So,
Well, if you send me the link to the 21, 22 at least, and then I can.
We got it back last year with open-ended answers, because I know you were able to look at those answers when the school year started.
That wasn't the parent survey, right? Because the parent survey, okay. All right. It would be that document you had that had the data from last year. It would be helpful to have, because then I can compare whatever survey we find with the questions on that document. Or that, I think there was something we presented in the beginning of the year or over the summer that reviewed that would be helpful, because then I could compare it. So I don't.
21, 22 does not have open-ended questions, but I'll send it to you.
Okay, yeah, see, that's what I'm, okay. I wonder if there was some other, okay, I'll have to do some digging.
I would ask Beth and Veronica tomorrow.
Okay. I will.
Okay. So again, just wait to receive the survey.
What?
This isn't the actual survey. Wait, we're still working on it.
It's some actual survey, but I don't know. It is a survey. It seems very short for a staff survey, but.
Okay. Well, let's send this one out and see what we get.
Filling it out.
I did a preview on it. It doesn't have any other sections.
I'm happy to help put it into a survey.
I have the staff survey results from last year.
Okay, good. So if you just send that, and then I'll find out who sent it last year. It was probably Veronica maybe that sent it.
And it has the open-ended question.
Okay.
Stuff.
Okay. So I think whoever shared it with me, I probably had the wrong person, because maybe it was from 2 years ago, but what they shared, what you had, that's probably what I used then from 2 years ago. I'll get the new one to you, Arit.
I'll email this to you so you have it.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. So if you'd like to hear, unless there's something, did I miss anything?
Who knows? I don't think so.
Nope, you got it. You got the agenda.
So if you'd like to hear my final comments, just rewind a little bit. I did them a little early by accident. So thank you to everybody. I appreciate it. And then hopefully tomorrow we'll stay on task. We'll be done early as well, before 8 o'clock. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
Can you just hold on once? Yeah, I'm just all done. Good.